at you with some more thoughts about what our history may really be. I hope you're here to absorb some things I picked up and make your own conclusions. That's all I can ask. Thanks for stopping in. So, we left off last time talking about the giants. So I'm going to pick up right there where I was last talking at you about. So yes, they found some very large skeletons. And there is a lot of question about, how did they get here? Who are these beings? And my personal hit is these beings are somewhat of our ancestors. Here's another picture just to give some perspective. Yes, you can see that one of those, what do they call them, cats? Cat diggers. Look at those men down there to the size of this skull. And I personally think this is a pretty legitimate picture. I know a lot of these photos have been dubbed by Snoopy, Wiki, whatevers as phonies, but I don't think so. They got out accidentally, and then, of course, the cleanup crew came behind and said, "Oh no, don't look in here, don't look behind this curtain, it's not real." But I tend to think it is. It's me. So yeah, I want to now take us on to another thought, another dot to connect. What I have are things like this. Yes, you can definitely see that looks a lot like a dolphin, Now, the next thing that comes out of someone's mouth is, "Oh, that's just your mind playing tricks. Yeah, the island kind of looks like a fish, but it's really just, what it ended up being. It's nature, yada, yada," right? And they call this something, of course. Of course they do. They have a neurosis and a phobia for everything. So what they call this, if I can pronounce it right, pareidolia, where you look at something and you can see, faces in the patterns on a curtain. You can see elephants flying in the clouds up above. And if you noticed here, they use the face of Mars as their example. Another way to push propaganda, as this is just a figment of our imagination. There is really nothing on Mars, people. Look away. There is nothing there. So they use this as the poster child to pareidolia. I just wanted to point that out. But I think at times the human mind is actually seeing what it's seeing. We're just told everything's a bunch of rocks anyway, by the way, people. Like, for instance, with something like this, you can clearly see it's like an elephant. It almost had something over its back as well, maybe. I don't know. It's really trippy looking, isn't it? Is it the pareidolia working on me? I don't know, but I don't think so. I think really this is possibly a mud fossil that we just keep blowing off as a bunch of rocks. Let me find another one for you. Yeah. Oh, those were the only two I grabbed. Well, no, it isn't. Now, this next find was introduced to me by Max Vision Remote Viewing. And hey, Max, I got your name right. It's been a bit of a personal joke between us because I seem to call him everything else but Max Vision, Max Volume, Max Headroom. I love the guy, though. He knows I I mean well. But yeah, he brought this to my attention. And yes, it is China. As you look at it closely, you can see, let me get my pointer going. You can see this outline of something right in here. Oops, didn't need to put little things on, you know? And I blew it up even a little closer. Hopefully I can capture the second screen. I just wanted to show you we're in China. And here's the closer screen. Now, if you really look at it, you can see this little lake up here. Consider that an eye, an eyeball. And the other eye is over here, but we can't quite see it because it's folded. And here's the snout of the dragon and its long, lanky body that it fell down at some point here. See that? And all the jagged, all this stuff. And there's the top of the head of the dragon. Now, like I said, a lot of people will look at this and say, "Oh, you're just seeing things. You're trying to just build a case over a natural formation." But I have to say two things here. Number one, it really does remarkably look like a creature had just landed there and died and then turned to stone. And the second thing about this is it was in none other than China. And China's folklore always talks about dragons, you know. Their whole culture is just splayed with dragons and dragon type things, right? And I just thought that was an interesting connection, a correlation there. You know, is it truly the land of dragons? Now, what Max Vision pointed out was that there are a group of people who are theorizing that closer in our Milky Way galaxy, as we get closer to the center, planets and suns and all of those things are much, much, much bigger. And the things that live on those planets are much, much bigger. And when they hit the center of our Milky Way, there is a torus. There's an energy torus. Some call it a black hole. Pick your name. And these things naturally get recycled. They go through the torus one way and they come out the other, okay, and end up at the outside again of the spiraling Milky Way galaxy. And as these parts and pieces that are just probably full of tons of electromagnetic energy, you know, attracting and pushing away, they're getting spit out. They start forming again. They start putting, you know, themselves back together onto something. Now imagine this dragon on a huge planet would be, you know, probably the size of a Saint Bernard to somebody. But here, it's a good portion of our planet. But it formed with the Earth. It ended up with pieces that came here, and it was so petrified in a sense that it kept its shape. And there are many of these around the world. I'm just showing this one, for example, today, but please go on Google Earth. Start really looking at these mountain ranges and valleys and things in them a little bit differently. I have been. And even driving down, you know, in the country, when I look up the sides of cliffs, you know, these layers, you know, you can see the dark layers and the red clay layers and then these white layers, you know, they could very well possibly be layers to a beast of some sort that had been petrified. And now everything inside of it, especially the iron ore, which is what? Blood? Is petrified and now has become a mineral. back onto our planet. Really trippy, interesting stuff. That's all I got to say here. At least for geeks like me. But I'm hoping you're enjoying this so far. So yeah, let me take a couple screens down here and bring up a couple screens and move on to the next. Ooh, yeah. Ba-da-da. Yeah, we got just a few more screens here. Hold on. And I'll hit another song. It should just recycle, but it's not doing something. iTunes came into my desktop here and it just, oh, it is good. For a while there, it was just doing some really crazy stuff. I'm going, oh my God. I can't control iTunes. I can't. But anyway, hold on just a second here. I'm getting to my next set of pictures. Just a couple more. I'm now taking this in a slightly different direction. Oh, that's not what but I will tell you about something at the end that I think is really cool. Okay, let's see. Oh, I'm just like batting zero here. It must be in here. Oh yeah, there we go. I was kind of just in the wrong area. Okay. I hope some of this comes through. Some of these I just couldn't quite. Now again, you're looking at a rock that you can see a fish has been petrified in. I mean, it's pretty clear. Even the eye socket, everything petrified. And the basic way to do that in nature is to have something end up in a lot of really, really dirty, murky, muddy water or mud, and then have lightning strike it quickly. The combination petrifies things remarkably well. Just wanted to bring that out just before I move on to the next thing here. Now, there was a guy, I am so sorry, sir, I forgot your name, but he is believe it or not, a spermiologist. They study grains and wheats and rye and all of that stuff. And he was searching for the single grain, because we have multigrains. You've heard, oh, this is a multigrain cereal, right? Well, that's because there's multi-shoots of different things going on in the grain, but there is a very pure grain which just has one single thing to it, one single shoot. It's called single grain. And it was originated, he discovered, back just right in the area of Turkey. And this, he believes, is where most of our grains originated from. Now, back in the Sumerian days, in this whole basin of the Mesopotamian Turkey, where we have Göbekli Tepe, among other things, right below his find, right above his find, if you're going north-south, of the single grain. And they had worshipped this goddess here. And she was the bringer of many things, of innovation, but also grains and wheats to the area. She was the goddess they looked up upon and worshipped. And here she is in a Sumerian picture here. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find the next picture. Oh, I didn't bring her up in totally. Let me bring this up. As you can see here, the gods were always worshipped for bringing, the animals and the vegetation to the area. And look how much bigger one man is compared to the others, because this was the time of what we would probably call the gods. They were alive and well when this was all taking place. There were several sizes of us, several. I don't know how closely we were, and here again, see the priestess that they're worshiping. If she stood up, she would be much taller than them. She has to sit down so she can talk to them effectively, and she's giving them wheat. So there was this period that was recorded where there were different sizes of beings here. And apparently the bigger beings were obviously more intelligent, because they were giving us information, giving us knowledge, how to grow things. And just found that really kind of an interesting little dot to kind of connect back around to the theory of giants being here before us. And I'll bring this up. I brought this up the other day. Yes, we are the itty bitty 6-foot person on the very far left, compared to skeletons they have found around the world that's been recorded. Some of these skeletons, again, have been destroyed, as they say, so we can't really get a good look at them. But if they haven't been destroyed, wouldn't it be interesting to run the DNA on these guys? Oh, have they been doing that? Have they been doing things like that and not telling us? Very possible. Very, very possible. So I just kind of wanted to tie up my last segments with this, that we do indeed have something going on in our history, and it has been recorded. They're just kind of overlooking it intentionally, not letting us in on a lot of what they're discovering. And for me, it is important to know where we are from, because he who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the future controls the present. That's how it rolls. So if you got a good grasp on where you're really from, you've got a better grasp on where you're really going and what you're doing currently. And I also like to always push reading. I've been reading out of this book. Let's see if I can capture it. I don't know if it's going to let me. No, it's not. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. The Magicians of the Gods by Graham Hancock. A lot of it's really good. It goes through the pyramids, Göbekli Tepe. Again, though, read and watch videos with skepticism. Be skeptical. That's a good private eye. Not buying into the narrative so quickly. Because I disagree with a couple of things they said in here. And one I'm going to point out right now, and that is, they keep pushing that the Aquarian age is going to happen around 2160. The Aquarian age is pretty much at our doorstep. We're putting our itty bitty tip of our baby toe right into the age of Aquarius right now. Don't you feel it? Don't you see it? Haven't things been just upside down crazy in this world? That's Aquarius. That be Aquarius. Just showing off a little bit as we walk into that house. And I always say, research for yourself. But I do go by the Kali Yuga Hindu long year calendar. You can Google that. It will have a big explanation as to what that's all about. But we are coming, we've been stepping out of the Iron Age. We are now in a Bronze Age. And we're stepping into the age of Aquarius. There's a lot of cycles hitting us all at once, which that's very Aquarian too. It's the planet that rolls sideways around the sun, not spins like this. It's crazy. It does things in a different manner. Let's put it that way. But if you hold on with some patience, Aquarius will always prove to you it had the best intentions in mind through the chaos. And there's some reason why the vibration does what it does. Just like Pisces was doing to us. Pisces was the vibration of being underwater. Okay? Water can be clear or water can be murky. Water can go both directions at the same time in your path. But I always try to tell people to look at what we're going through now like this. Okay, we've been swimming through the age of Pisces. Okay, and now we're coming up into an air sign where we're going to the surface. And what do you do when you go to the surface? You break the water and you gasp for your next breath of air. And that's all we're doing. We're just at that gasping point. So I think everything will be great. You just have to realize Aquarius is just a little bit different than everybody else in the zodiacs. We've got 2,000 years of some really interesting stuff. But yes, please do check out this book. There are a few things I don't agree, but overall, it has a great presentation on our ancient past. So the other thing I wanted to bring up, this is really stepping off topic. I know. But I'm going to do it. Hold on. Once again, I've got to get some more screens. I got to get some more screen. Oh, that's kind of nice music to be dilly-dallying around with. Okay, hold on just a second. I'm bringing them up now. Okay. They are coming out with something new here. It is a type of carton that you can put liquid drinks in that's made of more of a type of paper that dissolves really, really quickly back into nature. If you throw it onto the side of the road, it will just dissolve back into the ground. Brilliant! The Paper Bottle Company is what it's called. And these things will not only hold your typical liquids like milk, but it will also, hold on a second, hold your favorite beverages like beer. Isn't that clever? I am so happy to talk about, they call this plant plastic. It's made of plant sugars and it will break down into whatever, saving us from 300 million tons of plastic that's made by fossil fuels globally every year. But that was a hard one to get out. So yeah, very happy to see this. Let me grab another picture of what they're doing. So as you see here, they are, yeah, this is milk. I mean, it's a milestone. Well, actually, you know, they have invented this, I would say probably a good 20 years ago, easily, 25, 30, easily a long time ago, but they kept it off the market. Why? Does it have anything to do with the oil companies not wanting us to get away from plastic? I don't know. But anyway, another shift, just showing another shift in our climate now as we step into Aquarius. There's some good out of it. There is some good. But yes, I think part of the things that we're feeling now is why, what, where, all this stuff going on in our lives is because we've hit a point where we do have to take a mass massive new step in a new direction and get away from the things that don't work. We have to let things that don't work go, no matter whom is making tons of money on it. I think that is a new trend for, our end of our generation, moving into the millennials and their children. Things are going to be more scrutinized. That would be nice. Looked at more? Yeah. Let's do that. Let's look at things more. And if they're not working for us, we need to get rid of them, and move to things that are way more sustainable, and let products like this out. This has been in somebody's, back vault for many years. They bought the rights to it. I don't know how they're connected with this company that's making it. Maybe they are the company. They sold the rights. Who knows? But yeah, this idea came out, I remember, at least a good 20 or so years ago, and I thought it was going to hit the markets then, and it never did. But I guess it takes a long time for people to let go of things, And I'm going to lastly, before I step out of here, leave with this note. Oh, maybe not. Leave with this note. There we go. Sometimes we do just see things, read into things. Absolutely. But there's a lot of times we don't. So if you're looking at something and go, man, that really looks like it could have been a zebra, but it's all petrified now. It really well may have. I mean, open your mind up in that direction, And don't let the naysayers, the periodolias, the doilies. That's what I'm going to call them. The doilies, sit there and naysay and all of this stuff if you happen to point out something different like that. And be skeptical, research on your own and everything. And yes, absolutely, everybody, keep your heads up and stay frosty. Be well. Take care. Bye.